cinema. I have a lot of movies back behind me right now. We're doing another collection vid, and if you saw my picture on Twitter about an hour ago before I started my walk, we're doing this new thing now in my house. We're going for a walk every day. We're trying to get active and healthy and all that stuff. So we got a lot of Criterion and stuff here, but not just Criterion, because when I do collection videos now and I'm doing I do try to mix it up. I'll put in all my Criterions here though, except for a couple of box sets. Hey there, AME, which you may have to get. Now there are certain people that you look at when it comes to Criterion stuff, and some of them may actually be here tonight. There is a podcast from Just This Podcast actually talking about their Criterion picks for the sale, which is Brian Sauer and Stephanie Crawford. Dice K has an incredible, hey there Christine, videos on Criterion, and he's been doing some interviews recently, and I got to contact him because I'm supposed to do one with him. But hey there Steve, hey George, but it's taken me a while to get around to that, and actually I was asked to be on a new podcast recently. Hey there Mark, which is Cobwebs, which is a gothic horror podcast, so I'll be talking about Hammer on there. Hey there Italian Dan. But in order for me to sit down comfortably, I'm going to kind of dive in. Versus film. I'm going to dive into this. So let me open up my this here so I can actually see your messages. Hey there, guys. Hey, Daniel. Daniel, by the way, guys, he's the guy that has the Cobwebs podcast, and he talks about gothic horror like Hammer, and which I'm going to be listening to tonight. So if you guys are like, I'm not sure if Cinema Dave is here tonight or not, but Cinema Dave, especially if you're here, if you like Hammer films and gothic horror and stuff like that, then definitely check out Daniel's podcast. It's called Cobwebs, and you can check it out whether you have Android or if you have iTunes. So check that out. So you guys ready? You guys want to get right into this? Focus mostly on the Japanese stuff. I'm super surprised. Anytime, Daniel. I look forward to being on there, by the way, because I love talking about Hammer. It's a company that my dad introduced me to. So you want to start with Criterion? You want to get right into the Criterion? Hey there, Mary. Because I got all kinds of stuff here. What's the best box set Criterion has? It depends on what you like, Ragman. I have a lot of the big stuff. So if you remember, if you're into the samurai stuff, then Zadiichi, definitely. If you like the monster films like I do, then the Godzilla set. It's massive, but it's incredible. If you don't mind being a bit on the more depressed side, then make sure you check out the Ingmar Bergman set, which is really, really good. And if you just want a really fun box set that's not going to be too expensive and pricey, but it's going to have some great films, kind of colorful stuff, with a little bit, then the Jacques Demy set is actually really, really good. And people pass by on that one too much. Lone Wolf and Cub, again, is always an excellent one. So I'm going to start out here, and I'm not going in any particular order, not numerically ordered or anything like that right now, because most of my Criterions are actually in Morocco. I don't have the Breakfast Club one. I should have it, because as you know, I have the Breakfast Club t-shirt, but I don't have the thing. So let us start with Criterion first, and I'm just going to grab a handful. We'll go from there. If there's any Criterion, by the way, hey there. Ouch. Dude, I hope you feel better. You recently purchased that Zadiichi box set, so maybe the Lone Wolf and Cub one if you're into that type of stuff. So if there's anything here that you're kind of curious about or that you want to know about, the Halloween Kills thing, it was small, it was 35 seconds long. It literally had one sequence that wasn't already shown in the old one, but it was brilliant, it was beautiful. Check it out later on. And I'll talk about it probably after all this. So if there's anything here that I show you that you're kind of interested in, and you can always give like Kobe fan right there, he's giving it his Criterion suggestions for people to pick up, because the sale's coming up July 10th. It's a big sale, And here we go. Started in no particular order. So this is Unibaba, which is a movie that I really do like. It freaked me out when I first saw it. The mask scared the hell out of me. This is the original DVD. Hey there, Brian. I just mentioned you, by the way, and the Criterion episode that you guys did with you and Stephanie. Now, as you can see, these are all empty right now because these are all in Morocco, so I cannot watch any of these. But this here, see this mask? This creeped me out when I was younger. You know what? Still kind of does. It's a great lyrical, like beautiful film, and I just really love it. I kind of go back to the well and watch this one a few times. Next up is one I'm going to tease you with because it's out of print. I'm not joking, it really is actually. But it is a Henry George Clouseau film, and it's a good one. Hopefully this is one that they'll put on Blu-ray down the road. I'm not quite sure why it hasn't gotten the Blu-ray, unless maybe they lost the rights to it, and that's the reason. Hey there, PlayStation 9, doing great. Just got home from walk. So this is Le Corbeau. And it's actually a really good film. I actually really enjoyed this one. It's kind of a poison pen film with a little bit of a mystery to it. If you've never seen it, definitely worth checking out. This is one of the out of print, unfortunately, Criterions that I'm always hoping is going to get a Blu-ray release because I would love to upgrade it. This is the original DVD, which is $227 in the Criterion collection. I'm not going to read out all the numbers. Oh no, it's not a silent film. In fact, it has restored image and sound. You might finally get Repo Man. Repo Man's a good film. It's by the same guy that did La Diabolique and Wages of Fear. Hey there, JR. Next up is the cheapest I ever spent on a Criterion movie. This one cost me 25 cents. I was at a store, like at a SPCA type store. Kind of, they had like a, to make money and stuff. So this is Tunes of Glory. And great actors in this one. We got John Mills and Alec Guinness. So Sir John Mills and Sir Alec Guinness. And it's really a story like of classes. It's like of kind of dueling classes. But it's a really good one. The Horse's Mouth. I don't have that one. I need that movie. Hey there, Dave. And next up is the first Criterion I ever bought. And I didn't buy it at the time because it was Criterion. I wasn't really into Criterions at that point. I just saw the movie. I knew it's one that I really liked. It's no one that I talked to my dad about a few times as well. And this is his favorite version of it. Personal Chaperones. That actually is an interesting film. And this is A Night to Remember. So Night to Remember is the best, and really this is the story of the Titanic that you really need to see. Forget the James Cameron thing. No, it's way long, it's boring, it's too much time. But this one here, A Night to Remember, is an excellent one. It is by Roy Ward Baker, who did work for Hammer, by the way. So he directed this one here. There are some great features on here, including a documentary told through the story of the iceberg. I'm not joking. That's an actual thing on a Criterion release, and it is a good release. Brazil was your introduction. Hey, Cellulite Shot, welcome, man. It's been a while. See, the Criterion, it just brings the people in. For some reason, journalists have a lot of what? I think your sentence went out. Why did I? It froze up on me, so I couldn't see what you guys were saying. You realize I'm a journalist. I was a journalist, right? Actually, I was. Eyes Without a Face. If you don't have this one, I strongly recommend it. Christine, I'm sure you got it. Fantastic film. Jess Franco made kind of a version of this called Faceless. Also a really good film that I need to get. Yes, please. I would adore it if you smack that like button. Christine, come on. It's Eyes Without a Face. This is cool. It's such a good film. It is so well done and so well shot, and it's you got it, Mary. I knew you'd have it. It's creepy. It starts on the 10th, and for a while we didn't think it was going to happen, but this is excellent. And there's a neat little thing on this, which is strange, but there's a 1949 short documentary. Hey there, Griff. Welcome back, man. About the slaughterhouses of Paris. I kid you not. That's a thing on this disc. Actually, the song "Eyes to the Face" is based on this movie. Billy Idol was a fan of this film, so you're not wrong. There is Criterion sale PlayStation 9. It's coming on the 10th of July, and get ready because it's gonna dent into a lot of pocketbooks. I'm so back up on the Criterions that I don't have right now. You would not believe it. A lot of great stuff. I still don't even have Night of the Living Dead yet. Crazy, eh? So this one I do love though. Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. Uh, love this one, and you guys know why I uh, I love this film. Do you know why I love this film? It's so. I mean, like this has like a excerpt CD in it as well. There's a documentary on Thompson here, and for those who don't know, I did journalism. That's what I went to school for first, was journalism, and Hunter S. Thompson was a huge fan. I was a huge fan of Hunter S. Thompson. That was the way I wanted to take my career in if I actually went into journalism. But would have been a little bit dangerous. But I got, and then I tamed down and I didn't follow that so much anymore. But how many Criterions? A couch worth or so. I still got the box sets upstairs. I will go up and get them in after I go through these, but I'll show these first. Next up is The Killing, of course, a excellent Stanley Kubrick film. If it looks kind of familiar, you're probably thinking about like the Dark Knight, and there's a good reason for that because that opening sequence of the Dark Knight kind of comes from here. What's really neat about this one is it actually comes with a second film. So if I don't have Judo, but I really want that one, and my better half wants it too. It called Killer's Kiss, which is another Stanley Kubrick film, noir film. Excellent in the fact you get two movies for the price of one. Great releases. Really good work by Kubrick. It's too bad Kubrick lovers in here tonight because I'm sure he would love this. He loves Criterion. And he does like a lot of Criterion stuff. But if you haven't picked up The Killing, it's one that I do recommend it. They do a good sale. Like Criterion Day, they usually have like a 50% off sale. It comes from Barnes& and Noble usually. You just watch the Rear Window? I love Rear Window. It's one of my favorites. It hands down will always be one of my favorites. Next up is again a classic, and that is Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times. Modern Times is a really great Chaplin film. It shows off a lot of the genius of Chaplin. I need Gold Rush. I don't think I got Gold. I got Gold Rush, but I don't have the Criterion edition of it. The War of the Worlds disc. It looks sexy, doesn't it, Dave? You just picked it up. Oh, dude, Gino, you're lucky, man. You didn't wait for the sale. You just couldn't wait, right? Didn't Imprint also put out War of the Worlds recently? Rear Window or Vertigo? For me, it's Rear Window. Vertigo, I like it, but it's never been one of my favorite Hitchcock films. I'm saddened by the ending. I'm a big sap. How many Charlie Chaplin Criterions do I have? Actually, only two. I'm a huge Chaplin fan. I have a lot of the MK2 ones. Remember those? But there's only a couple that I've upgraded. The Rear Window remake is so not better, but it is good to have Christopher Reeve in the film. Oh, nice. That is good. I'm jealous, Gino, but that is awesome. So this is a Life Aquatic. Not my favorite. To be honest with you, decent film. Grand Budapest, I actually do like. Keep your Wes Anderson collection. Isn't it odd how when a lot of people get into Criterion, they get into Wes Anderson at the same time? So when you see people doing their first Criterion hauls on YouTube and stuff, there's usually like a bunch of Wes Anderson. Hey, there's Cinematech in the first one, and I'm no different. So because look here, the Royal Tenenbaums. I love the Saturday Night Live like one where they do like a Wes Anderson like strangers slasher type film. It's so cool. If you've never seen it, check it out on YouTube sometime. Hey, PlayStation, have a great night there. So this is Rosemary's Baby, and this movie creeped me out when I was younger. I know there's. Hey there, Chris. There's like obviously like the director and stuff, but I do really like this film, and then I do like this edition of the film. There's a great documentary on here, uh, and this book also freaked me out too. So everybody knows that I love Paul Schrader stuff, and this was sent to me, and I was super excited because I'm a huge Paul Schrader fan, and this is the documentary, and that's fantastic. Actually, you're right. The one that's in the theater, actually, the one like the way that you see it, the one that everybody knows. What have you done to it? Blank. You know. So anything Paul Schrader, I'm down with. Love anything to like that is Paul Schrader, so, which I still need to get uh, the uh, the Patty Hearst thing from Vinegar. I still blows my mind that Vinegar shouldn't have put it Paul Schrader, but I can't wait to get that one actually. Here, can I make an Arrow video? Definitely, I would love to make an Arrow video collection stream. See that entire shelf right there? Every single one of like that shelf is entirely Arrow video, so it's gonna be a big stream. This is a favorite of mine. It's one of my favorite Criterions that they ever put out. It is one of my. It's a favorite film of mine. It's solidly in my top 20, top 25 films of all time, and it gets passed over by a lot of people. So I'm gonna recommend this one to you guys. This gets a recommendation from me, and it's an Ernst Lubitsch film. Also, by the way, another person that does great Criterion videos is Logan Toxic. So make sure you check out his stuff. I'm sure he's going to have something during Criterion time. We're going to be doing something together as soon as I can get all my electronic stuff working. Do we have a Star Wars complete saga collection? I do not have it. It's Smoke. It looks really sexy, and we're huge Star Wars fans in this house of all the films, not just the first three or all that stuff. But I eventually have to get it. Hey, welcome. I was just mentioning you, man. Do you have any Sidney Lumet? I think I do. But this one here, To Be or Not to Be, yeah, the Criterion song. Every member, my better half, both my kids, we all know me. We know the Criterion song that Logan Toxic does off heart. That's true. That's actually honestly true. This here is excellent. If you've never seen this movie, yeah, Brian agrees with me. It is an excellent film. I can't like Jack Benny is really, really good in this, and it blew me away. I didn't expect this to be as good as it was, but it is great. It is a great film. Five Easy Pieces is fantastic. When I was in acting, one of the things that I would do, because you'd have to like rehearse monologues, you would send out back then on videotape to different companies, is I would do the monologue from Five Easy Pieces. I did one from Saturday Night Fever, and I did one from Rocky as well. Behind the curtain of my early career. Another one that I do think needs to be in everybody's collection, like, and honestly, if you don't have it, get this one. Especially if you want to go, Want to dip your, say if you've never dipped your toe into the silent comedies and stuff like that. Say maybe you, or maybe you just got some Chaplin. You haven't gone any further than that. Cameraman and War of the Worlds. Those are two. Those are two that a lot of people are looking at. Safety Last. Safety Last is a fantastic film. Favorite Kubrick? I go back and forth between 2001: Clockwork Orange and Lolita. Those are my top three. So what's amazing about Safety Last is you'll get some comedies and you'll remember, like, everybody knows this scene, like, even if they don't know where it's from. But what's amazing about this film is that this film probably could have coasted on this scene, and a lot of it would have been like, could have been forgettable just to get to this one. But this, it builds to this scene. There's a brilliant build throughout this film to this scene, so that every set piece in this film is genius. And if you really want to know more about Harold Lloyd as well, there's a 108-minute documentary on Harold Lloyd on here as well. So you're going to get, like, in my opinion, the best Harold Lloyd ever did. And he did some great stuff, Grandma's Boy, all that type of stuff. But Safety Last, for me, is that's his piece de resistance. And it has a documentary on him as well, which will make you go out and buy more Harold Lloyd. Trust me, it will. I don't have Phantom Carriage yet, but that's one that's on our list as well. Me and my better half always do up like a Criterion list every year. Not sure if we're going to be able to get any this. We always say we're not going to get anything, but we end up getting a couple. But hopefully we'll get some this time. The one everybody's got, because it was usually $5 to pick up, and that is Chasing Amy. I'm a fan. I'm an unapologetic Kevin Smith fan, and this is one of my favorites. What Criterion Westerns do I recommend? Ooh, I don't know if I get... Do I have any Criterion Westerns there? We'll see. Yes, I do. We'll get to that. Seven Samurai. Not a Western, but a great one. It inspired Westerns. Another one that was out of print, but it was brought back into like a new, better edition. So this is the original edition of it on DVD. This is Silence of the Lambs, which of course a lot of horror fans are going to grab when it came out on Blu-ray. So there's a new, like, updated Blu-ray edition of this to get. I have not yet upgraded to the Blu-ray. I actually love Paris, Texas. It's a great film, and it's one that it stuck with me for some reason. Stagecoach. It's finally getting some Buster. It's about time to get some Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton needs some love, man. Jabal is a great film. I don't have that one either, but I do need that one. And that's actually a cheaper one too. I don't think there's any features on it. I think it's like pretty much feature free, kind of like a couple of the other ones that they put out. Well, my Seeki's not 4K. I got to keep, like, closing this up and opening it up again because it keeps closing up, guys. So I keep missing messages, so I do apologize. My phone has been iffy today. But the 4K player that I'm using right now is just an Xbox One. The two Wellman ones. Oh. So if I miss a message, I do apologize. My phone is crapping out on me. Scorsese Silent Speaker. Diabolique. I'll get it at one of these days. So, again, it's a must. This is one of those Criterion must-haves. If you don't have this, I don't know why, but you should. You really should. It's a fantastic film. My favorite science fiction film? Good question. Not quite sure, actually. I got a lot. I'm a big geek. What do I think deserves... Oh, there's a lot that deserve Criterion releases. There's some that have gone to other companies that deserve Criterion releases. I honestly thought that the... remember when they put it the Jacques Trudeau set? The Val Lewton set? We know, with the two documentaries, the big one? I really thought that would have, like, got a Criterion release, like the entire set, because I thought it deserved it. But it never did, and I think some of them went to Scream Factory, actually. But I think Val Lewton is definitely deserving of Criterion release. Speaking of, oh, guys, no, well, this guy is more divisive actually. But Peter Weir, this is The Last Wave. And what always freaks me out is, so this is Richard Chamberlain, but I would love to see others on Criterion. But look at this. Does anybody else think that Richard Chamberlain looks like Kevin McCarthy? You know, the guy from Invasion of the Body Snatchers right here. Because I think he looks like Kevin McCarthy. No one else? Does anybody else see it? Does anybody else kind of get that? When I first looked at this, I thought, oh, Kevin, it's a Kevin McCarthy film. I love Kevin McCarthy. He's a bad guy in a lot of things. But no, that's Richard Chamberlain. But anyway, I thought he looked like Kevin McCarthy. Last Wave is a good one, and I mean, it's one that a lot of people. Thank you, Griff. All right. Next up is a classic, and there's been many versions of this film done. Well, Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange doesn't have. Okay, I thought Clockwork Orange had a Criterion release, but if it doesn't, yes, I 100% agree. Is Purple Noon, and Purple Noon, of course, is the first version of The Talented Mr. Ripley. So Hitchcock was so incensed that he did not get the rights to Highsmith's The Talented Mr. Ripley, and instead it went to Clement, who did Purple Noon, that he made sure that he got her next book. And that one was Strangers on a Train, and it became one of the best Hitchcock films of all time, in my not so humble opinion. But Purple Noon's a great film. Clockwork Orange needs a really sexy release too. I want it to get a good release. That's not something that I want to get a Scream Factory. I like Scream Factory stuff, but I want to see like a Scream Factory or Shift Factory release of Clockwork Orange. I want to see a Criterion Clockwork Orange. High Noon, I don't think High Noon does have Criterion. Does High Noon have Criterion release? I don't think so. But I love the movie High Noon. So this is Ministry of Fear, Fritz Lang one. Again, much like Jabal when it came out, there's like really not a lot on here. There's like an interview, a short interview with the Fritz Lang scholar Joe McElhaney. Drive is definitely one of a more modern film that I could see getting one. This is actually a really good film. You want to know Criterion that I got and I still have not watched yet? High Noon is Olive. You're right, Daniel. And that is Gate of Hell. So I know I've seen this years ago, but I have not watched this since I got the Criterion release. I love the cover, and I love the style of film, because I'm sure AME knows this film. I don't have the old Criterion Robocop edition, but I remember it. Actually, I had it in my hand once. Another strong recommendation. Do I own any Uzu? Criterion, not yet. I've been waiting because Criterion's put a bunch of Uzu stuff. I'm kind of waiting to see if they put it like a set. There's certain people now that I kind of lean back on, because I'm like, okay, do I want to get this, or do I want to see if there's a set coming out? Like, I'm not buying any more Fellini or any more like the big directors like Uzu, because basically I don't know if anything's going into print. Like, there's other people on here that may know better than me, to be honest with you on that one. But I've stopped on a couple directors because I want to see if they put it like big massive box sets like they did with Bergman. So Uzo is one of those that I'm hoping that gets a big box set. If they don't, then I'll just grab them. Your own Salo. Great date film. No, I don't actually. It's a Bill Hader thing. So this is the Black Narcissus. It is an incredible film. It is beautiful. It is a gorgeous film. And it is a Pressburger Powell. If you haven't seen it, you really should. I do not want to give anything away, but This is the setting. I will get to that one too, Kobe. And if you've never looked into this one before, I really strongly recommend that you do. If you're going to look it up, like don't look up the ending or anything like that, because it is a great film. It is beautifully shot. It's so well done, and it's extremely well acted. Matter of Life and Death, yeah. And what's the name? The Colonel Blimp. There's a few. Awkward. It happened one night. Again, if you like comedies, this is a classic. We got Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. Incredible film. Thank you. Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. I totally forgot the first part of that. I love this one. There's a great little featurette on actually on screwball comedies. But what's even even neater on here is like Frank Capra's American Dream. Like the full length documentary on Frank Capra is on here as well. So this is like loaded with features, and it is such a fun film. You can't like be in a bad mood when you're watching It Happened One Night. It'll just get you out of that bad mood. It's just that good. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, but it's a film that I love, and if you're a filmmaker or you're looking into going into filmmaking or editing, then I recommend that you check out and not just watch this film, but study the way that this film is made. And that is Don't Look Now. Don't Look Now is a fantastic film. It's by Nicholas Roeg, and it is a master class in well done editing in cinema. It's based on a short story by Daphne du Maurier, and you needed a really steady hand to take this story and make it cinematic. Somebody that could really. It's brilliantly shot, but even more so, it is amazingly edited. So if you're a cinema geek like me and you love editing, oh, you haven't got one Criterion title? I definitely check them out. Get a good Criterion title, see what you like. Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Oh, see, the thing is that Criterion wouldn't pay the money, unfortunately. I'm not removing. I'm trying to put there. But you know what happens? Oh, that guy almost kills it a bit, Kobe. It's a great film too. It's one of those that you just got to see. It is beautiful, beautiful. Here's one that I hope you didn't have spoiled for you, but because it's a great film, and it's Ralph Meeker, and it is Kiss Me Deadly. Every time Criterion comes up and I talk about Criterion sales, I always talk about this one here. This is one of my favorite films. Like definitely up there, one of my favorite films of all time. It has an amazing cover cinematic, and the cover is done to look like a pulp novel from back in the day. Got a bit of kink there too, if you want to put it that way. There's also a great documentary on here called Mike Hammer's Mickey Splain. Basically, it's talking about the author, Mike Hammer. Mickey Splain. Sorry. Talking about Mickey Splain. It's fantastic. But if you don't have this one, if you're going to get Repo Man and you don't have this one, get this one with Repo Man. I can't tell you why if you haven't seen both, but your pre-orders qualify. I think they do actually. They did last time around because you could get the stuff. You just had to wait for it to come. But I thought they did last time. I know anybody that normally does Criterion sale, if I'm wrong, definitely jump in and say, no, you're wrong. But I thought they did. Your favorite is Night of the Living Dead. This is my favorite. This is definitely, I think it's my favorite. All right, you ready for another fantastic Criterion release? Arrow put an edition of this one too. But the cover for this one is one of the greatest covers that Criterion ever put out. And I will go on that hill of saying that. It is literally one of the greatest and most heartbreaking covers that Criterion ever released. You ready? And this is Blowout. Blowout is an incredible De Palma film starring, well, obviously John Travolta and Nancy Allen. And who plays the killer? Well, you know. But this cover really gets me. Uh, well, not from my better half, Mr. Chow. She'd be a huge fan. She's a huge fan of the films. But this, Christine, this one, you got this one. And what really kills me about this one here, about the cover, is I do YouTube. I was acting. I'm creative. Anyway, so he's a sound person. He does sound effects on films, and he's working on a slasher film at the beginning of the film. But the scream in the film isn't good. It's weak. The girl doesn't have a good scream, so he's finding a good scream. So his whole life is sound bites. So like clips, like different sounds that he's taken. He's put on tape, and as you can see, his life at this point has been destroyed. And you can see it. Like once you know that's what he does, and like this is his, this is his creation. This is what he does. Then you realize how devastating this picture is. To me, anyway, it always gets to me. Phantom of the Paradise. I love that film. But that does have a good scream factor release. Actually, it actually really does. We're getting some great recommendations here, by the way, guys. So if you're looking for stuff there's people putting up some great recommendations. You might want to write some down as it goes through. One of my favorite documentaries of sorts is F for Fake. And this is done by Orson Welles. I love this one. I love the neat little twist in it. It's just a fun one. Now I'm going to move some of the stuff over here so that I can actually sit. All right. Next up is M. Again, another classic Fritz Lang film. That never fails to get to me every time I see it. Not to be confused with Fulci for Fake. Yeah, definitely not be confused with Fulci for Fake. M is amazing. And speaking of that actor, what I think is a superior version of this film, because Hitchcock would go and make a remake version of this film, but it's good, but it's not as good, and that is The Man Who Knew Too Much. The original Man Who Knew Too Much with Peter Lorre is my favorite version of The Man Who Knew Too Much. I do like the Que Sera Sera one, but this one is a stronger film, and it works better. And the female lead in this one, I love Doris Day, but she's definitely a stronger character than the Doris Day character. Beautifully shot film. It's a film that I hadn't seen, and I knew very little about, but I saw the Criterion release of it. I did not show Quite Anne. I don't have Quite Anne, unfortunately. It's a film I need, and it's a film I strongly recommend. And this is Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. Thanks to Criterion, I found this film, and I utterly adored it. It is gorgeous, it is beautiful, and if you've never seen it, it's definitely a fun watch, and it only runs at 76 minutes long, which is actually perfect time for this film. Picnic and Hanging Rock is a good one. So, next up, people mention it's a Czechoslovakian film, and a beautiful film too. So next up is Red River. This is a Howard Hawks film, as you can see right there, the big letters. And I do love Red River. Now this is another one that has the Steve Martin didn't do The Man Who Knew Too Much. He did do so this is Blazing Guns at the Chisholm Trail, which is the book. And as you can see, when they put a book, it's a book. It's a novel. They're putting the novel in there. And I love that they do that. with so many great features on here too, audio excerpts. Like there's like a radio production of it on here as well. The- Let's grab these over here so I can put this down. The killer part's gonna be putting all this stuff back. Okay, so next up is a Wes Anderson film. The Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is probably the first Wes Anderson film in Criterion. Not the first one I bought, but one of the first ones I bought new. And this River is your favorite John Wayne. My favorite John Wayne actually probably isn't because of him, but I do like the what's it called? I totally forgot the name right now. But he's not the star. He's not the only guy in it. And they remade it a couple times. No, but there's Alfred Hitchcock's Foreign Correspondent, which again, a beautiful cover on this one. And again, I do love that one. Sons of Katie Outer, that's what I'm thinking of. Just took me a second. The closest that they've ever done to Giallo so far, in my that I can think of, is Elo Petri's Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion. It's not Giallo. Don't think it's Giallo, just because it's Giallo type cover. I don't know. I'll check. Actually, I got scanners over here too. But a very cool release. And there's like a 90-minute documentary on Eli Petri, which is fantastic. If you really want to dive into Eli Petri stuff, there's a great podcast one on him, which I'll find out for you guys. Sweet Smell of Success. If you ever wanted to write film, then this is what you need to. You have to watch this film. If you want to be a writer and you want to write film, definitely check this one out, because the writing in this one is brilliant. Yeah, I hate the fact that's in store only. Luke, it used to be that you could get it like online too. Hey there. Those Farman's New Wave movies. Farman's Ball, Love of Blonde. It's been a while since I've seen them, but I did like them when I saw them. All right. Let's get these over here. Welcome to the cult. I'm slowly moving these over so that I can actually sit. Dress to Kill, definitely be closer to Giallo. Good point, actually, Sarah. I never even thought about that. But Dress to Kill, really, it is a Giallo. It may be North American, but it's definitely a Giallo. The one Fellini that I got in my collection is Amarcord, because I actually really do love this film. And it's kind of a Fellini that deals with kind of, really his past, is like his youth. And I do like this style of film. Next up is one that was mentioned on here. Welcome to the cult, guys. And thank you, Dave, for welcome to the cult. Doesn't Amarcord have some 16 in it? I don't remember any 16 in Amarcord. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'm not sure what scene are you talking about, but I don't remember any really 16. Picnic at Hanging Rock. This is the one with the book, which I'm guessing is not available anymore. If it is, get it. Now, I would tell you this right now. If you've only seen the movie Picnic at Hanging Rock, and you're thinking, hey, if I get the book Picnic at Hanging Rock, that's going to explain the ending. No, it's not. Because he was right on the in the way that he made the film. Peter Weir was extremely did the film extremely well. Did it smart, and this is the book's out of print. Okay, I didn't know that, but yay! So now I'm extra glad I got it. I'm not a big Barry Lyndon fan, but Criterion-wise, I'm sure it's superb. I just can't get into that one. One of the best, spookiest, most well-shot Criterions, hands down, right here. Look at this. Night of the Hunter. Everybody's got this. Is the Criterion most people have. And if you don't, put it high on your list. Robert Mitchum is really fantastic in this. Shelley Winters is great. Charles Lawton, the only film that he ever directed. Hopefully we'll see you back here, Dave. I agree. Definitely one of the top 10 films ever made. You watched it last night? It wasn't your first time watching them, right? Even if it was, that'd be amazing. I curated a lot of my Criterion films and be films that I literally truly think are great films. First time, that's gotta be amazing. Did you like it? Kind of curious now, because I know it's like it's like there's movies that have been like done since then with that, with a lot of the aesthetic of Night of the Hunter, but the original is such a classic. Speaking of movies that are classics, Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless. I love this film. I really do. It's part of the whole like French New Wave, and of course there was like this was remade with Richard Gere actually. Wasn't a bad remake, but it wasn't Godard, but it wasn't a bad remake. But I love this film. There's a ton of features on here. If you like feature-wise stuff, like look at this. Look how thick this is. For a while, Criterion made these really cool-looking, kind of like these cardboard cases, and they'd be like Blu-ray and DVD combo packs. But people complained because people can't let us have good things about Criterion doing Blu-ray and DVD combo packs, and they said we want to buy one or the other. We don't want them together, and they stopped making them because they listened to the people that were complaining, and that really got me angry. So, just putting that out there. Oh, Band Apart, amazing too. I don't have that on Criterion, but I do have that film. Ace in the Hole, another fantastic one. If you haven't seen it, well, I'll be buying it. That Cinematheque is going to be 110%, like dependent on my better half. We did buy some stuff recently, and it was it was a pretty pricey one, and it's one for my better half too, something that she's been wanting to collect for a while. I'm angry. Oh no. Okay, Dazed and Confused, another fantastic one. I like the Blu-ray DVD combo packs because I want the Blu-ray and I like the DVD combination of it too, because especially back then, and if I was on the go, I couldn't always take the Blu-ray with me, but I could take the DVD. If they had if it was anything with like in a cardboard case, a lot of them were re-released in an inferior looking plastic case, in my opinion. This is Dazed and Confused. It's a fantastic film, slice of life back in the, it's the 70s. Richard Linklater, does incredible with this type of film. All right. There we go. Next up is one that I know Kubrick Lover likes. And I know a lot of you people on here utterly love. And that is this one right here. Videodrome. It was an amazing release by Criterion, and we all like the sexiness of this. That little attention to detail really made the difference in this release, and I'll always go for dual format over single format. I actually preferred when Vinegar Syndrome did dual formats as well. They stopped doing that a while back too, and it really kind of peeved me off. Oh. Videodrome was your first Criterion. I can see that actually, because it is such a... I'm trying to sit back there now. Such a cool Criterion. So next up is one that went in as a blind buy. I'd seen some of his work, but I hadn't seen at all. There wasn't a lot to see, unfortunately. Jean Vigo was a director that was kind of the grandfather of the French New Wave cinema. Godard, Fellini, all those guys, knelt at the altar of Vigo. So if you are into French New Wave cinema and you haven't seen his stuff, you really should. This one's fantastic. If you've seen the Malcolm McDowell film, If, which is a fantastic film, by the way. The inspiration for that film is on here as well. And it is called, and I will totally get this wrong, Zero de Conduit. So he did like 3 short films and 1 feature-length film. He unfortunately passed away early, so he had a short film career, but definitely worth, if you like French New Wave cinema, if you want to dive into something that's a bit different. This is a collection. It's his complete filmography, and definitely one worth checking out. The other Charlie Chaplin movie I got is not the Charlie Chaplin movie that most people would think I would have, but I think it's an underrated Chaplin film. Not many people talk about it, and it's a shame. It's more one, I guess, in a way, it's more one of his more like politically charged films, though, and that's Monsieur Verdot. So if you haven't seen it, it's very different. Don't expect to go into this one getting the usual Charlie Chaplin little tramp thing. In fact, in this one, it's not a spoiler to say Charlie Chaplin is a murderer in this film. And it is excellent. Let me know what you think when you watch it, man. And by the way, I just don't have Criterion. I've got Criterion stuff, and I'm going to do Criterion. I got some other stuff I'm going to show you guys. Oh man, Northern Lights, you're killing me. Let me know what you get. I would love to be there. I would kill to be there. Maybe I convince my better half to go to Halifax for the weekend. See if she agrees with that. She won't, but I would love to go. Okay, Seven Samurai. It's pretty much, it's one that everybody has to have. Not a lot to say. That hasn't been said about Seven Samurai already, so we'll just go with that. Gold Rush is fantastic. And again, another one that was a bit of a blind buy because I hadn't seen much of his work. Another fantastic one, and it is the Pierre Artaud collection. Really great set. It probably is. I mean, but the Blu-ray edition is better anyway. Did I hear about Ennio? I unfortunately did. It's sad that Ennio Morricone has passed, and that is a great mind gone now. You ready for the next one? This one has a book too. And I don't know. Maybe this book is out of print too. I'm not quite sure. If you go Northern Lights, I really want to know what you get. And if there's some really cool stuff there. I got to tell my kids. Maybe my kids can go for me. Oh, Sarah Chat, have a great night there. Come back again soon, man. It's way too often. Be between your visits. The Furies. So this is Barbara Stanwyck right there. I'm a huge Barbara Stanwyck fan. I love this movie, by the way. It's one of my favorites. This may be my favorite, like Western, from Criterion. And they do have the novel here. If the edition with the novel is still available, definitely that's the one to get. I love that Criterion did this. I'm a huge reader. I often get asked like what started my my love of films. Like what movie did I see that started my my love of cinema. And the honest truth of that is, it wasn't a movie that started my love of cinema at all. Actually, when I lived in a small town, and there wasn't a lot. This was like pre-VHS days, so there wasn't a lot to do. So I was a geeky little kid. So what I would often do was I would go to the library and I'd read. And oh, Steve, have a great evening there. Everybody's leaving me. And I would like grab books and I would read and read. I'd voraciously read. And what really interested me was they do like there'd be books on movies, there'd be books on Alfred Hitchcock, there'd be books on like on films, on TV shows. I would voraciously read those over and over again. And eventually VHS came about, and I was able to like watch a lot of the films that I read about. Actually, I have Time Bandits on Arrow video, which I've actually shown on here recently. So books actually got me into to films. Reading books about cinema got me into watching cinema. There is like a Criterion done in the UK now. They actually, much like Arrow went over to the US, it's a UK company that went to the US. Criterion is a United States company that does releases over in the UK now. So you can get them over there, George. And much like Arrow, there's different ones you can get. Okay, not the regular Criterion, but here's the Beastie Boys video collection. These are the ones the videos that were directed by Spike Jonze. Oh, the lenticular cover is sexy as hell. Found this one. I'm a big Beastie Boys fan, and I found this one. So Criterion does do region too. A while back, like Criterion moved over to doing some UK releases as well. Yeah, it's the thing. You see, like I remember I bought this book and it was at like a Kohl's bookstore, and it was like it was like on vampire films, and I like vampires, history of vampires, and books and films and stuff like that. That's true. Warren's exactly right. You can't get the full Criterion library in the UK. Only like certain ones, because Eureka and BFI have put out certain ones as well. You know, they're not going to cross over with releases there. There's going to be rights issues with certain ones. And same as with us, when we get certain Arrow releases, but we can't get other ones. But if you go to your local store, actually, George, you'll probably see some Criterions there as well. But yeah, I kept seeing pictures of Prince of Darkness, like Dracula, Prince of Darkness, films like that. And I just had it in my mind what the film was going to be like just based on the pictures. Hey there, Joe. Welcome, man. We're doing collection stuff. I'm going through Criterion, and after that, I got some other stuff to show, which I didn't even mention on here. So this is Rushmore, again, Wes Anderson. Oh man, Seconds is a fantastic Criterion one. If you're like a sci-fi horror fan, like that type, then Seconds is a Frankenheimer film that's definitely worth checking out. It is definitely a masterpiece in paranoia. I'm going to just put this one up here. It's a Melville one, and I really, really, really love this film. But I don't know how to pronounce the title, because I'm still not great at my French, but here we go. Jean-Pierre Melville is one of those directors is solid. You can always count on doing well. And if it has Lina Ventura in there, then you know it's good. Lina Ventura is amazing. And he's kind of like the Humphrey Bogart of France. He is the tough guy. And as you can see, he had that look. He had this like really tough look to him. So when you saw him, you took him seriously as the gangster, as the bad guy character. And not the bad guy, actually the gangster sometimes with a heart of gold. Kicking and Screaming by Noah Baumbach. I actually got this one at a Value Village for like $2. Another favorite of mine, this one right here, Science is Fiction. Well, Samurai's fantastic. Really cool one. And this is Jean Painlevy, who did like a bunch of, like, how many films are on here? Like, there's like a ton of films on here. There's even a documentary on John Painlevy on here as well. We're getting through some stuff here, aren't we? Next up is one that was given to me, and is that one in? Yeah, damn it, it's in Morocco. I want to watch this one so bad, and I got to wait till I get to Morocco. This one was a gift, and it was going to be my first watch in Morocco. Good work. Oh no, well if you take care of them, it should be okay. And that is Harry Carey. Harry Carey. Fantastic film that I haven't seen in years, and it's going to be another year before I see it because I'm waiting to get to Morocco to watch this. This is going to be one of the inaugural watches into my in my condo. Incredible film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Getting that one to sell? Okay, here's the only Criterion I got in my collection I probably don't like, but I got it because it was $5. That's 100. That's the truth. I'm not gonna lie, completionist type of thing. But I was never a big fan of this film. I know a lot of people love this, but this is the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I'm not a fan. Really, it didn't really hit me in any way. Didn't like it. Tried watching it again. Still didn't like it. I thought I kind of freaked Kubrick because I thought you said human centipede. So, so I was like, "Are you serious?" But House, incredible, extremely well done, really beautiful looking film, by the way. Insane. It's an insane film. But for people that don't normally buy Criterions, and then you got like something like Night of the Living Dead and Scanners, your House is definitely one that's going to be in your collection. That'll definitely be there. A Devil's Backbone, Guillermo del Toro. There's a del Toro set out too, which I don't have. Of course, this is the original edition of Godzilla, and I had to do this because I'm a 3-year-old. I always have to do this. You know what I'm going to do, right? Because I have to do it. I told you I'm a 3-year-old. Every time I pick it, that's when I got to do it. I love Godzilla. I really love Godzilla. This is probably my favorite Lino Ventura film. It's Class to Risk. I don't think there's anything that I like regret buying. To be completely honest with you, even if the film didn't have a great transfer. See, I'm not like one of those like people that's like really anal about like the transfers. But no, like even if a better edition comes out, like I can buy a better edition if it comes out. So I don't think there's ever been anything that I've ever regretted buying, except unless like I bought something and then I bought it again. That type of thing. Incredible one there though. And I'm almost completed the Criterion portion of this video, but I've got other things to show you guys. So I wanted to start with Criterion. So this is a Scanners release, and I was asked earlier if this one had a commentary, and it doesn't actually. It has a documentary on the special effects there, which is actually pretty cool. An interview with director Michael Ironside. I'm a huge Michael Ironside fan, so there's a reason to get it. Like aside from the movie Scanners, and director with actor and artist Stephen Lack. And Lack was the star of Scanners. Yep, Lack. Just call my John Wayne Criterions. We've only seen one so far, so that's all I got. Not that I don't like John Wayne. I got a lot of John Wayne stuff here, but I don't have many of his Criterions. Mulholland Drive, fantastic movie. I love this film. I really do. It deserves the praise it gets. Hey there, CK. Welcome, man. I've almost finished my Criterion portion of this video. I got to get some box sets upstairs afterwards. This is A Lady Vanishes. Fantastic film. It has a bonus film on here as well called Crook's Tour, because there's these two guys in the film, and they're like super fans of what's it? I'm trying to remember. Like, is it croquet or they're super fans of some like a sport. Anyway, and they get their own spin-off movie. So they're in this one here as like as kind of background characters. But they get their own spin-off movie, and that just blows my mind. But a fantastic one, like excerpts from the Truffaut interview with Hitchcock, of course, which they use, and of course there's the 39 Steps, another great Hitchcock film, and last but not least is the Bottle Rocket. So that is my non-box set criterions. But that's not all. I actually have some documentary stuff to show you guys. I have another edition of TV Time to show you guys as well. Just in case you thought that I only had Criterion here today. And then I'm going to go and end it off with the... I thought I had Brazil, but I don't, apparently. Thank you, CK. So, I always get asked about Westerns and all that type of stuff. So I brought some of my TV Westerns that I got here with me to show you guys today. So I'm going to be showing some of that as well. So don't think I just went Criterion. And don't worry, there is more Criterion coming because I got the box sets to show you as well. But I got to haul my butt upstairs for those. So I got some documentaries here. And then I'm going to follow that up with some TV Westerns and some other stuff. So... documentaries. And when I get ones that, pretty much all these here I think are going to be pretty much like recommended documentaries. Certain ones I'm going to recommend like more strongly than others. Never Sleep Again, of course, is the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. Incredibly well done. This kind of set the standard for like the documentaries that would come later for horror. Like you'd see ones for Friday the 13th called Crystal Lake Chronicles, and well, this kind of started it. Such an amazing documentary. So yeah, I have a little bit here for everybody. So if you weren't into the Criterion stuff so much, maybe be into this. That's why I always tell people stay to the end. Next up is a fantastic documentary. I bought it last year during Halloween when I was doing my 31 Days Alive of live horror, and it is a really good one by MPI, and that is The Master of Dark Shadows. It is about Dan Curtis, and he made Dark Shadows, he made Kolchak the Night Stalker, he made so many great films. And I love this, and I love the cover to it as well. You can see Jonathan Freed's Barnabas Collins right there. Oh yeah, that's more like so, but like not just with the second film, Scream Queens, when you're talking about. And like how it like affected his life. A guy that was like, he was closeted at the time, and it's apparently a pretty heart-wrenching documentary. So it's not really Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's dealing with that as well. But if you have not checked this out, guys, definitely check out Master of Dark Shadows. It's a really good documentary. And look how sexy that cover is. Does that not have a sexy cover? There's Jack Palance, because of course he did he played Dracula on the TV version, and you can see Carol Kolchak himself right there in the background. So some really cool stuff, and I think that's Laura Parker there too. One of the early ones before the Crystal Lake Memories came out, there was this one here. His name was Jason. I was actually super stoked to have this one. And it's a fun one. It's a shorter one. And I really enjoy it. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake by putting other stuff in here, because guys are getting quiet now. I'm like, I'll do some, I'll like snazz it up a bit and put some different stuff in. It'll be Criterion, then I'll put some other stuff, and people will be glad that they'll get a bit of mix. So don't make me feel sad that I did something different. Okay, next up is Room 237. I love this movie. It is about some super crazy conspiracy stuff. Room 237 is a fantastic film. It's weird as hell. Pretty much people that watch The Shining and they're insane conspiracy theories about The Shining, including ones where basically they say that The Shining is actually about, how Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing, or Native Americans, or sex. So just a really weird one. Again, if you like 70s cinema, this is a documentary to own, and it's a long one. It's A Decade Under the Influence. Runs at, how long does this one go at? 180 minutes, so it's a big one. Definitely worth checking out if you've never seen it. I strongly recommend it. I've seen a documentary on 70s cinema. Next is just an entertaining documentary. And this is The King of Kong. Fistful of Quarters. I think everybody's seen The King of Kong by now. It's got one of the best villains in a documentary in here, because the guy in this film is a villain. He's like literally, I would consider him a bad guy. Definitely check this out. So there's a guy named Steve Wiebe, and he was like a teacher, and he lost his job, and he gets really good at Donkey Kong. So Donkey Kong's one of the, for those who aren't big into video games, Donkey Kong's one of the hardest video games to really master, to get like the zeros all along. But he was becoming a master of Donkey Kong. But he wanted it kind of like he just wanted to do it. He was a really nice guy. And Billy Mitchell, thank you. Billy Mitchell is the guy that has the top score. He's the legend. He's literally made his life and career on the fact that he beat so many video games, including Donkey Kong. And Billy Mitchell's an asshole. like there's no other way to put it. But Billy Mitchell, he comes off as a complete douche and extremely evil. And if you've never seen King of Kong, you really got to see it. Kubrick, you got to see this one. So if you liked A Decade Under the Influence, then you might want to check out this documentary, which is based on actually a famous book. And this is Easy Riders, Raging Bulls. The sex and drug rock and roll era saved Hollywood. Again, a fantastic documentary. If you've never seen it, definitely worth a watch. This was put up by Shout Factory. This is the 2-disc edition of that. You ever get into video games? I'm a sucker. I go back and forth, but it's going to be too expensive getting video games soon. All right, SNL in the 80s, Lost and Found. During the early 1980s, the entire cast of the original SNL left the series. Shout out! Oh, the kids says in the picture, great book too by the Robert Evans. I love that. What happened? Well, it all fell apart for a bit. But they brought in a new cast, and did it work? Well, the names they brought in are going to be names that you're going to know: Billy Crystal, Martin Short, Gilbert Gottfried, Jim Belushi, Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld, Al Franken, Kevin Nealon, Nora Dunn, John Lovitz, Dana Carvey, Robert Smigel, and Conan O'Brien. And not everyone lasted, and it was a tumultuous era of Saturday Night Live, which is probably mostly remembered around that time for Eddie Murphy. And if you've never seen this, I definitely 110% recommend that you check this out. It has some bonus features on here, including some performances by some of the artists from back in the 80s. From like James Brown to Queen to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Bonnie Raitt. It's definitely worth checking out, Ron. I mean, this is a really great documentary. on that, because it is an era that's really forgotten. Robert Downey Jr. Was on Saturday Night Live. Didn't like last on Saturday Night Live, but he was on Saturday Night Live, and so was God, the guy from Breakfast Club too. I will leave my favorite of these documentaries for very last. There's 5 more here. Gonna do some TV time. So this is Comic Con, which is a great little documentary on, well, Comic Cons. And if you like comic stuff, it's really fun. This guy on Saturday Night in the 80s who committed suicide. Charlie Rocket? We're talking about Charlie Rocket? I think you're talking about Charlie Rocket. He's the guy that said the F word on Saturday Night Live. Just the true story of Che Guevara. It is a great one, actually. This is Not Quite Hollywood. Fantastic, fantastic one. I will be doing an exploitation video down the road. I got some stuff coming from Severin and the sale that's going to help out my exploitation video. If you want to be up to date and be really in for the exploitation video, you might want to check out this documentary beforehand called Not Quite Hollywood. Put out by, what's Passport? I think it's Passport Video. Yeah, it's Passport Video. And it is, they're kind of cool, like short ones. And this is the 100 Years of Horror, hosted by Christopher Lee. It is amazing. Dungeon, if you haven't seen it, Not Quite Hollywood is one that me and my better half have watched, like, in the double digits. We've watched that one in the double digits. Like 100%. But probably one of my favorite documentaries that I've got in my entire collection. And I was so excited to find this thing. I found this at a flea market. I've watched it over and over and over again. And that is the History Channel documentary When Cowboys Were Kings. Or King. This is incredible. If you have never seen this, it's an amazing documentary on the early years of of Hollywood, but with early cowboy era. It talks a lot about like the early guys like John Ritter and so many good ones. There's what's his name? Like they mentioned Al Wayne and stuff like that too, but there's like better, like Hotline Cassidy. Hotline Cassidy, one of the great guys of all time when it comes to marketing. But definitely 110% recommend you check that out. Tex Ritter, yeah. Did I say John Ritter? I probably did, actually. Have you seen Dawson City, Lost in Time? It's called. I don't know if I have, actually. All right. Now, because I showed you their documentary on on Western stuff, here's some Western stuff. John Ritter and his great Westerns, right? It would be interesting to see if he would have lived and done something like that, though. So this is what's put up by Timeless, and this is The Deputy. It's a Western actually starring Henry Fonda. Sure, this one apparently only ran like 2 seasons. And this set contains 12 episodes that were lost to the public. So fantastic to have this in my collection. I got to see the Galaxy Quest documentary. I haven't seen it yet. Next up is the another Timeless one. I'm pretty sure it's Timeless. No, it's Flying A Pictures. I was wrong. So this is the Gene Autry Show, the complete first season. I have not seen a physical copy of that one yet. I did see it on Amazon Prime, though. But if there's a physical copy, I definitely got to get it. Have Gun Will Travel, Season 1. Paladin, of course. I don't have Spencer's Mountain, actually. The 6-disc set, and I bought it for $5 at Walmart. The case is a bit beat up, but I was lucky and happy to get it. This is Rawhide, the complete first season. Very good underrated Western, by the way. Love this show. You can see what they're focusing on right here, right? So this is a 7-disc set. If you've never watched Rawhide, check out Rawhide. Actually, I've got some on a Dead or Alive. I just don't have it in this collection of stuff. And the next one I got is Rawhide, the 4th season, volume 1. That's Clint, all right. So we got to start. Great show. Great theme song, too. And then I don't have the big box set like Heath has yet, but I got a couple like sets. And this is Gunsmoke, and this is the 2nd season, volume 1. And the 3rd season, volume 2. Oh yeah, there's a couple. Like we got the Dirty Dozen collection here with the TV movies on it. My better half's a huge Dirty Dozen fan, actually. And the 5th season, volume 2. I would love to have the complete Gunsmoke set. It's way too expensive, but I would love to have it. Another random one here. Bonanza, the 1st season, volume 1. I was a big Bonanza fan back when I was a kid. And Bonanza, the official 2nd season, volume 2. So you see they put these in half seasons. And some of these are harder to find. And here's a couple newer Westerns. Well, newer. It is a Magnificent 7, the complete series. So both the 1st and 2nd season are on here. They put them out on Wagon Train. Oh man, I love Wagon Train. I like on single seasons, but I bought the one that had them all. So yeah, season 1, is only a short season, but then season 2 comes out and it's like a 3-disc set. So 5 discs altogether. Next up is The Young Riders, complete 1st season. I haven't got the 2nd season, but this is kind of like the Young Guns for TV is really what it is. I have the Zadichi box set, but the America Lost and Found BBS story is something that unfortunately I don't have yet. What I count Shogun as a Western, and in a way it is a Western. Like let's face it, the Asian cinema, Japanese cinema, and is really and Westerns, they gotta go hand in hand. I do love Shogun though, and not Westerns, but I thought you guys would get a kick out of these. I have both seasons of the series Rat Patrol, and I actually really did like the show. And if you're a fan of Young and the Restless, the bad guy in Young and the Restless, there he is right there. So the guy Victor Newman played the bad guy in the show. So as you guys see, I do have a wide variety of shows, and just to put like some other stuff in here, I got asked about this one before. So here it is. This is Starman, the complete series. This is a series based on the John Carpenter film, and I'm going to say it, I actually really do like this show. And it's just as good to me as the Carpenter film. I love this one here. I don't know if Ernest Borgnine's Rat Patrol. I know that it starred Christopher George. So, again, love Starman. And my cousin got this for me. I didn't even know it was available. And to end off on a geeky note, before I put some of this back and I get the Criterion box sets that I promised to show you guys. So for you guys that stayed around, you're going to get to see the Criterion box sets as well. I don't mind having to buy the. It's a little thing to buy the TV movie separately when you've got a series that ran as long as Gunsmoke. Having that much stuff. All right, so go off on a little Blu-ray here. This is Star Trek, the complete 1st season, the original series. Somebody said on Facebook that he considered Star Trek, the original series, and the Next Generation, all that to be like, it's all one thing. It's all Star Trek. It's all the same. And I said, you don't like Star Trek, or you would never say that. This has both the original and updated special effects. You can choose what you want. There's the second season. As you can see, it even has like the Tribbles cartoon episode there with commentary. So you want to see like the cartoon episodes on Blu-ray, you got to get this. And as you can see right here, it has the original and updated effects. And next up is season 3, the third and final season of the original Star Trek series. Though some people would consider the animated series to be a continuation. And I also have some of the Next Generation. Not all, unfortunately, on Blu-ray. I got them all on DVD, every single box set of Next Generation on DVD. But then I started buying the Blu-rays as well. So I found them at my local Giant Tiger for $9.99, which is a good price. So this is Star Trek Next Generation Season 1, which is okay. But then it gets really good with Season 2. Then becomes brilliant with Season 3. And just it keeps getting good with Season 4. And it's pretty much, it stays consistent quality. And of course, I like this show. Some people didn't like this for the stupidest reason. I'll explain this, by the way. Enterprise. Some people did not like this show because there were words to the theme song. I'm going to let that sink in. Now, for most reasonable people, that's going to be pretty amazing. That's a reason not to like a show. But for some Star Trek fans, that was it. That was the reason for not liking the show. There was words to the theme song. Didn't have anything to do with the show, but the words. So, if you stay with me for a second, let me put back a couple of these here Criterions. I will run upstairs and I will grab the Criterion sets as well. Dave knows the theme song. So I have to grab these here because I don't want these staying on the floor for too long. So just bear with me for a second as I do this. Do this right. Let's see who's stayed for the box sets. Because I have some cool Criterion box sets. All right, we'll start with the smaller stuff first and go into the bigger stuff. So first up is a DVD box set. I don't have the Romer one, so it won't be double dipping for me. And this is the Samurai Trilogy, which I really like, so I definitely would upgrade that one. Okay, next up is one that I think might be, I think is out of print. If not, grab it. And this is the Monsters and Madmen set. It is a great set and one of the more Halloween-y sets that Criterion ever put out. It's got 4 films in there, including The Haunted Strangler, which is one of Karloff's great films. I really do love the set, and I love the way the art looks on it. So I'm going to open it up for you guys and show you. So this is the Atomic Submarine, and I love kind of the mod-looking art style. And there's the first man into space. And on the other set, there is Corridors of Blood and The Haunted Strangler. How can you not get The Haunted Strangler, man? Corridors of Blood is good with Christopher Lee. What's really cool, what's really good too, if you like the old Universal commentaries and stuff like that, well, there's an audio commentary on here by Tom Weaver, who does a lot of those classic commentaries, and just some great interviews on here as well. But a really cool set to have. All right. So next up is one that I did recommend to people for the sale, and I still do recommend this one. This is the Jacques Demy set. It is a fantastic set, and if you're not a fan of Jacques Demy, no, you should. Jacques Demy is incredible, and he loved musicals and he loved film noir, and both of that shows in all of his films. But for me, no more so than the Young Girls of Rochefort. That's my favorite Jacques Demy film of all time. I think my better half likes Podan, Donkey Skin, the best because it's one that she saw when she was a child. But there is some great stuff on here, and I love the way that this set is done. This is Lola. This one is more kind of noirist films. And this Blu-ray and DVD combo packs, I like them. Especially if you're like me and you travel to different parts of the world where sometimes you may not be able to get a reach-and-free player. A good DVD version, it's easier to have a DVD kind of player on a computer or something like that you can do as well. But there's a great book in here as well on Jacques Demy. And of course now the Varda set is coming out too, so that's or is it already out? So that's always get your Jacques Demy and get your Agnes Varda set together. Don't worry, I'm getting to the big stuff. Weirdest, trippiest movie? I don't know. I had The Trip, so that was a pretty weird one. So next up is Zadichi. It is a gorgeous set by Criterion. This, of course, is the... it had a book, Blind Swordsman, so... What's really neat about this, and you'll see this more in the Godzilla one too, is when they did the Zadichi films, each film got its own little section, and what that meant was that each film got its own art. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is the picture for the first Zadichi film, the drawing. Use different art styles for each of the Zadichi films. And I think it's 31 in the collection. I think so. Jeez, go. 21, maybe it's 21? 23, 25, Maybe it's 31. Maybe it's 25. Can't remember right now. There's a lot of Zadichi films. Anyway, all the Zadichi films. Of course, if you're a real completist, you got to get the Zadichi TV series that came out too. I would love to have Lone Wolf and Cub. The Carl Jar box. I forgot one of my Criterions, but it's upstairs and I can't get it right now. But it's one of my box sets. It was the one that I thought was out of print, but it wasn't. That I got from Unobstructed View. Really good set. Can't remember the name of it right now. But it's the anybody remember it? I got it recently. Why can't I remember it? All right, next up is one of the biggies. So there's two gigantic sets that Criterion put out, like as in like literally gigantic sets. And here's one right here. This is Godzilla. Some people were oddly upset that Godzilla was huge. Is it really, Mary? For some reason I thought you'd been here longer than that, but I'm glad you came. So this is Spine 1000. It is one of the greats, and I love this set. I think that Godzilla definitely should be huge. It's a Godzilla set, for crying out loud. The artwork on the inside is nothing short of incredible. I'll just show you guys a couple of the that's the Godzilla right there. A couple standouts here. I love this one. And this one's a neat, it's very different, but I like this one. I can't believe Trina, you're not a fan of Godzilla. Straw Monsters has great art on it. That's true, he did. Unfortunately, the guy that was in the original suit died recently. Godzilla vs. Gigan is an amazing artwork too. Sacrilege, I tell you, it's sacrilege. How can you look at this and not want to own it? In all seriousness. And when it came to the end, well, they're all right here. Just so easy to get out. And how sexy is it? Come on, guys. It's really sexy. Need some time alone with my Godzilla now. And the massive set. The set to end all sets. Whew. The big heavy set. Ingmar Bergman's cinema. If you're into Criterion and you study cinema, probably going to be in almost everybody's collection. It's expensive, but considering everything you get for it, it's not that expensive. Why is it worth it to get, even say if you got it? Well, one of the things is this massive coffee table Bergman book is incredible. And it has a lot of great write-ups on Bergman. And as you can see, this is not like a small book either. The book itself runs at, what is it? 248 pages, around 250 pages altogether. And is a great for like people that like want to know about Bergman. It is fantastic. The set itself, which I'll just take it right now and show you guys. Right here. Is amazingly done. And what's even better is it's curated. So if you've never watched a Bergman film before, or you're unsure like where to go or where to start, they curate it for you so that you know exactly where to go and where to start. And they do it basically, if you've never seen Bergman before, you get eased in. And it's done here. And they do it like it's a real film festival. They do it like there's nights. So for instance, the first night of your film festival, for instance, opening night, you'll be seeing Smalls of a Summer Night. It's a Bergman film done in 1955, followed by Crisis and A Ship to India, which is kind of some of his earlier films as a double feature. Wild Strawberries will come next. Then you get To Joy and Summer Interlude. Then there'll be Summer with Monica, which is a very like accessible film, and Dreams Unlessoned to Love to end it off. The first centerpieces will be like Scenes from a Marriage, the television version followed by the theatrical version, and Sarabande. Then you get From the Life of the Marionettes and Shame. Then it's Passion of Anna, Hour of the Wolf, the Pharaoh document, the 70, and it's Pharaoh document 79, then Through a Glass Darkly. Followed up with Winter Light and The Silence, The Virgin Spring, which is a classic one. And The Seventh Seal comes in the second centerpiece, actually. Great film, but not sure it's one that you're going to start with. The Devil's Eye, All These Women, Sawdust and Tinsel, The Rite, The Magician, The Magic Flute, which I have on DVD, actually. Thank you, Rick. I truly appreciate it. And welcome into the cult of cinema. After the Rehearsal, The Touch, The Serpent's Egg, which is 1977. And then it goes into the third centerpiece, which is Persona, which is a fantastic Bergman film. Thirst, Protocol, Cries and Whispers, Waiting Woman, Brink of Life, Autumn Sonata, and then to close the night off with Fanny Alexander, the television and the theatrical version. And then it goes to the making of Fanny and Alexander, and a disc full of supplements with things like, so what's this? Does it tell us what the supplements are here? It doesn't, I don't think. But there's documentaries on Bergman, stuff like that. And of course, there's documentaries on different discs as well, too. So it is an incredibly well done set. Are you serious? I hate when they do that, those security cords. Target used to do that, too, and they would like wreck some of their sets when they did that. Those like super tight security cords are horrible, and the bane for anybody that collects films. I remember watching as somebody at a Target was buying a movie, and the Target guy there like took it and like took the slipcover off and was going to tear it up, and said, oh, there's this, and I was like, what are you doing? It's like, so I was just going to get rid of this for you. I said, like, no, that's part of it. That's part of the appeal. He's just going to rip up slipcover. So I saved that person's slipcover. But this is a Bergman set. It is one of the greats, if not the greatest set that Criterion ever put out. Most of them do come, Rick, with booklets in them. I think pretty much everything comes with a booklet. Some are larger than others. A lot of the earlier releases had like more substantial booklets. Some of the newer ones have like smaller, kind of like almost like what I call matte booklets, where they kind of like they fold out. But just for instance, I'll show you what I mean. So this is Rosemary's Baby from Criterion, and as you can see, it has a pretty, fairly substantial booklet for Rosemary's Baby. And a lot of them are like that. A lot of them have bigger booklets like that. But every once in a while, you'll get something like, was Don't Look Now the one? That'll have, instead of a booklet, they'll have, and I'm not sure which one it is right now, but it'll have a kind of a thinner booklet. But everything here, at least, hey there, Jason, has some sort of booklet in there. So you're good that way. They won't be as thick as like Eureka or BFI booklet. Those are amazing, or an indicator. Those are insane. But well, every once in a while you get something like Ingmar Bergman set, and if you're lucky and you can find them, some of these sets, and a lot of them are out of print. Apparently, I didn't know this, had like actual novels in them, like a Picnic at Hanging Rock had a novel with it. Red River had a novel with it as well. Vampire actually had a really cool one. It actually had the script, right? The whole book, the script of for Vampire. I don't have that one. I wish I did, and that's the reason I haven't got it, because I wanted the thick one. But I think it's isn't it out of print, Jake? Because I thought that one was that's one I kept like I said I'm going to get it, and I'm going to get it, and I never got it. The Man Who Fell to Earth has a novel. Oh, I like David Bowie, so David Bowie. Yeah. It's out of print, of course. It's out of print. Of course, the stuff that I want is out of print. But we love Criterion here in our house. I don't talk about them enough on here. I'm known as a Vinegar Syndrome guy, and lately the Severin guy too. Thank you, Rick. Wow, thank you so much. But I love Criterion, and I used to do Criterion videos all the time, especially during the sales. So you're going to see a lot more coming up with the sale. I'm going to do like a pick video, like my top picks for Criterion as well. Also, check out the Just of This podcast. They recently did a Criterion like podcast episode where they talk about their picks for the Criterion sale. Definitely recommend it. They did a great job on that. The sale, Christian, is starting on the 10th, as far as I know, and that is Friday, right? What's today? Today's the 8th, right? Yeah. I totally lost track of time. So it'll start on the 10th. You're so lucky, Jason, that you get to go to Barnes & Noble. Because, like, go later. Tell you what, Jason, why don't you go there later in the evening of the 9th? And I know some places, they'll start, like, the sale part a little early, or, like, near the end of the night, they'll do it. You never know. So go late on the 9th and see if you can get the Criterion deals then. See if it starts ringing up. Because that's always worth checking out. Worst case scenario, you got to go back the next day. And if it's not too far away, that's not too bad. Me, I live in Canada, so I don't get to. I wouldn't call. Like, you can. Like, if there's a few different ones, yeah, call. But I wouldn't call, because if you call, you're going to get a no out and out. But if you go there and you're just like hanging around and you said, "Oh, it's the sale," isn't there's a sale coming up, isn't there? Is the sale today? And they're like, "Oh, the sale's tomorrow," and like, "Oh, really?" So no, I was hoping to get some stuff tonight if possible. And if if it's in the system, then you get sale stuff early. Not saying I've ever done that before, but I totally have when HMV was around and when I knew a sale was coming there. So not every place does that though, but some place does. All right, there we go. At 109, well, almost 110 minutes. This has been my Criterion collection-y type video. If you guys want a Criterion one where I'm going to actually give you guys some suggestions on some stuff that I don't have in my collection that I think you guys should pick up, I can do that in the actually in the near future, but I can do it tomorrow maybe. And I'll think some other Criterion stuff. I would love to have done one with Logan. I'm just trying to figure out. We haven't heard from Logan in a bit. It's my fault. I got to contact him actually, because I'm trying to figure out how to do like a live stream with Logan Toxic. So if you guys know Logan Toxic, thank you. Then this would have been a great time to do one with him because he knows his Criterion. He knows it well too. We got a lot of Criterion people on here that know their stuff. Brian Kubrick, lover, knows his Criterion stuff. That's his thing. That's his brand. Whoa. Anyway, it's been a great night. I've had a wonderful time, and I will see you here hopefully tomorrow if I'm not too tired, and we will do a Criterion list of like a list of, I'll do some other stuff, do some collection stuff, but I'm going to do a list of Criterion stuff that I think that everybody like, that's not my collection, I think are worth looking out for. The Halloween Kills trailer, by the way, if you haven't checked out, it's only 35 seconds long. Not a lot into it, but enough to make me so want that film. I'm Aaron. This is my movie library. You are the Call to Cinema. You guys rock. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for the super chat, guys. I didn't expect it. I really appreciate that, Rick. All you guys, you're amazing, and I will see you guys soon. For me right now, it's time for tea. Have a great night.